It's really interesting, you know, catching whiting on surface lures is nowhere near as reliable these days as it used to be 15 and 20 years ago when we first started doing it and it became really popular. Makes you wonder why. There's still plenty of whiting around and the bait fishers still catch plenty of whiting, but it's a lot harder now to catch them on surface lures. I used to go out and expect to catch anything from half a dozen to a dozen. I had red letter days where I caught 15, 20, I think 23 was my best ever session whiting on the surface, 23 legal whiting. And nowadays, if I can catch 5 or 6 or 7, I reckon I've had a really good session. And a lot of days I only get 2 or 3. Why is that? I reckon we've caught, killed and eaten a lot of the whiting that were predisposed towards coming up and taking surface lures. There might be a genetic subgroup or whatever within whiting that were more predisposed towards doing that, and we've caught, killed and eaten them because they are pretty good tucker. They live for a long time, they grow pretty slowly. Also, I'm sure we've educated them. The fish have seen a lot of other fish get caught on the surface. This happens with bream. I can't see why it wouldn't happen with whiting. It's really interesting to ponder stuff like this. Let me know your thoughts on it down in the comments, but that's what I reckon. I reckon we caught all the easy ones. It's worth thinking about. G'day, Starlo here, and I've come out for a bit of a walk and a wade on the shallow flats in my local estuary. It's the middle of summer, but you wouldn't think so looking at the weather. We've had a fairly gnarly little southerly come through. After a couple of hot days, it's really cooled down. The air temperature's about 18 or 19 today. Luckily the water's about 21, which isn't too bad. I'm hoping I might be able to find some whiting, some flatheads, some bream on the flats, going nice and light. And because I'm on foot, I've gone for a bit longer rod. This is one of the 7-foot 8-inch Ascensors. I really like these for shore-based fishing. I've got a 2500 Nasky on it, spooled up with about 8-pound braid, 16-pound leader. There's no need to go real light because I'm fishing on the surface with the Shimano Ligon. And when you're surface fishing, the fish really don't get to see the leader, so you can go a little bit heavier. And 16-pound will give me some insurance if I do happen to cross paths with a bigger flathead. Now, because the southerly is blowing, I'm actually going to wade down towards the southern end of the flats here, or walk down along the bank, and then wade back and cast with the wind basically behind me. It'll be sort of over my right shoulder, but it'll be a lot better than trying to punch straight into it. I've got a bum bag on with a couple of spare lures in it, some leader material and a pair of scissors. And that's about it. Stay light, stay mobile, cover some water and have a bit of fun. Well, that's the idea anyway. I do love these Shimano Ligon stick baits, especially retrofitted with some assist hooks on the tail. Check the drag and start off with some shorter casts into the area where I intend wading, just to make sure I don't spook any fish. You can work these lures a few different ways, but I'm kicking off by what's called walking the dog. Rhythmically shaking or bouncing the rod tip while retrieving the lure at a steady pace to give it a head bobbing side to side action. Casting into that breeze limits my distance a fair bit, but that's okay. As I turn and start to work with it, I'll really be able to stretch those casts out and cover some water. Not that it's doing me any good, there's absolutely nothing happening, not so much as a sniff. I'll speed things up to spare you the boredom. Maybe I need a slight change of location. We're right on the bottom of the tide at the moment, and I just think that this first flat that I've picked might be a bit too shallow. You'll catch fish in really shallow water, but this is sort of only ankle deep or shin deep out where I was wading. I've caught plenty of whiting and bream and flatties in that sort of depth, but they just don't seem to be there today. So I might look for something slightly deeper. I just want to show you exactly how I do this style of fishing because I know it's really popular. I've made a few episodes about it in the past and I'll put links to those in the description. The other thing I wanted to mention is the fact that I recently launched memberships on my YouTube channel. I thought long and hard about doing it, but a lot of people said I should, so I've bitten the bullet and done it. And I've got memberships now, and I'm delighted to see people signing up. And they seem to be really enjoying being members. They get early access to episodes. They get priority responses to comments and questions. They get a little badge next to their name and some emojis they can use in their comments. And there'll be a fair bit more coming, including some members-only content down the line a little bit further. So there's a fair bit for just $5.99 a month. Now, down below, while I'm speaking at the moment, you'll see the names of my first 40 or 50 sign-ups in my members area. And that's one of the other things you get for being a member, is a personalised call-out in one of my episodes. And those names and handles will stay down there forevermore. So if you'd like to see your name immortalised in one of my episodes, that's another good reason for becoming a member. Sorry, I've just seen a bit of activity up here, some birds diving into the water. I wonder if something's going on. Anyway, I really like to thank those early adopters who've already signed up for membership to Starlo Gets Real. Welcome aboard. I'm looking forward to having some great times communicating with you all and giving you some extra content. But right now, I'm liking the look of that flat up there. I'll get the sunnies back on. Oh, that breeze. It's annoying. What I like about this area here is that there's a couple of really nice weed beds out here. A bit of seagrass or some other kind of aquatic vegetation. And it tends to be really good around those areas for this kind of surface fishing. I wish the water was just a degree or two warmer. 21 is sort of just getting there. I really prefer 23 degree water for this kind of stuff, but we'll see. Just check that drag. I'm actually just making short probing casts to the inside of the weed bed here. I don't want to go right out over the top of it and get caught up in it. I'll just see if there's anything lying on the inside. No interest yet. And nothing changed. I worked this whole spit and inner weed bed area without raising a single fish. All right, now I'll start reaching out beyond the weed bed onto the deeper side. It's a great looking area. It is, but it's just not producing today, not so much as a swirl or a follow. As the wind pushed some of the cloud cover away, I continued upstream into stretches that had been really productive for me in the past, carefully probing the water ahead, and finally I found some action. Oh yes, that was a subtle take. I didn't really sort of blow up on it, he just took it. Interesting to see what it is. It is a whiting, pinned on the assist hooks. He'd be very close to legal. I don't think he would be. No, he's not legal. But that's a nice start, and that is my first topwater whiting of a new season. I've been away travelling a fair bit this year, and I just haven't had a chance to get onto the whiting locally. So it's nice to break the duck. Yeah, he'd be legal in Queensland, not in New South Wales though. All right, mate, off you go. Don't tell your mates. Hopefully that'll be the first of a few. I'll quickly check my lure and get back into it. Oh, listen to that wind, it's howling. Well, that breeze is not letting up. I'm having to cast across it here, so I'm keeping it fairly low to try and cast under the wind. When you've got the wind behind you, you cast nice and high. Use it to help get your lure out there. When you're casting across it or into it, keep the trajectory low. There are so many feeding holes in the bottom here. You can see the yabby and worm holes, and then in amongst them are all the suck holes where the bream and the whiting have been feeding. Good sign. Very hard to punch it into that wind. And if I turn around and cast down this way, it'll go a country mile, which is really good because I like to get it well away. I'll be very surprised if I don't raise one off this cast. I can't even see the lure, it's so far away. I'm relying on feel. But amazingly, nothing. Very surprised I didn't raise one on a big long cast like that down the flat. It's a nice healthy flat, this one too. Let's try one slightly wider. And so my afternoon proceeded. Lots of casting practice for zero results. I'm having a really tough day of it. I've only raised a couple of fish. So far I've only caught that one undersized whiting. I'm not going to give up yet, I'll keep trying. But you know, I have days like this all the time, and it'd be easy for me to not bother making an episode out of a day like this and wait until I have one where I catch plenty of fish and show you that. But you know that I like to keep it real. I want to show you the hard times as well as the good times, because every angler has them, trust me. Even the absolute guns go and miss out on a fairly regular basis. And I want you to understand that and to not feel bad about it when it happens to you. The thing is, you've got to ask yourself, why did I miss out? Is it the conditions? Am I doing the wrong thing? And keep trying and find out what is going to work. Try and identify those productive patterns and repeat them. I certainly haven't found any today, but I'm not giving up. And I didn't give up. But I also didn't crack that pattern I was looking for. I wasn't even spooking any fish. These were the only customers I was seeing in the shallows. Good reason to be careful where I'm putting my feet. I think I might have to admit defeat. It is just not happening. And there's definitely some rain coming in. I don't mind getting wet while I'm catching fish, but getting wet and not catching fish, that doesn't have a whole lot going for it. It was good to get out on the water, but really disappointing results. And I reckon it's the weather. I reckon that big southerly that came belting through yesterday and dropped the temperature from nearly 40 degrees down to about 19 has really had an impact on these fish. The whiting in particular are just not playing. I think I've seen one bream. I haven't raised a flathead. I mean, I could have gone subsurface. I could go out and, wade a bit deeper and fish some soft plastics or whatever. But, you know, I really want to catch some whiting on the surface and show you how. And I've shown you plenty of times before, so make sure you check out those earlier episodes. And look, if you appreciate the fact that I tell it like it is and show you my tough days as well as my good days, please give us a like down below. And if you don't subscribe to the channel, jump on and do so. And also, think about signing up as a member. All right, until next time, this is Starlo, wishing you tighter lines than I had.